Hey everyone, welcome back to Bryan's Basement. You're probably wondering why I have all this Dreamcast related accessories and Dreamcast here. Well, it's all going to become clear to you, very clear to you, in a couple of moments. So, let's get right into it. Alright, well, welcome back. So, why is all this stuff here? Well, we're going to be talking about Phantasy Star Online version 2. And it's all going to become clear as the video plays out. So, stay tuned and let's discuss. So, why Phantasy Star Online? Well, Phantasy Star Online, just to give everyone a brief little history, those of you who don't know, Phantasy Star Online was an RPG, action RPG online, where you played with three other players on the Dreamcast. It was later ported to the PC in Japan and the GameCube in North America and Japan. The game basically consists of your typical like hack and slash where you're going through worlds, picking up items, getting all kinds of power-ups, leveling up, etc. So, the game was originally released in December of 2000 and made its way to North America in 2001. It was the first online RPG for console, which is pretty cool. I mean, big milestone. And it was developed by Yuji Naka, who was also the lead developer on Phantasy Star 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which were for Sega Master System and Sega Genesis. So basically the story goes, after Phantasy Star 4, the IP was kind of shelved and didn't really make its way onto the Saturn at all. But Sega really was adamant that online gaming, not adamant, they wanted to bring online gaming to Japan. At the time in Japan, most people gamed on consoles, and there weren't very many PCs, so there weren't very many people playing online. So Sega saw this, and they saw games like Ultima, EverQuest, Diablo in America, and they saw how well they were doing and how big they were, and they kind of wanted to bring that to the console market, and specifically bring it to Japan. So the higher-ups at Sega hoisted this idea for an online action RPG, and the team that got assigned to it was Sonic Team, who Yuji Naka was heading at the time. So basically, they had some experience with Choo Choo Rocket, developing an online game for Dreamcast. So Choo Choo Rocket was basically like their test game, and after the successes of Choo Choo Rocket, they started developing Phantasy Star. So Phantasy Star started out as a game called Third World, and when Yuji saw one of the concept drawings of a dragon, he basically thought, oh, this looks like Phantasy Star, and that's basically when it turned into Phantasy Star Online. So just a neat little story that I read online that I kind of wanted to convey. But, so why is the game important to me, you might ask? Well, I was an early adopter of the Dreamcast when I was a kid. I got it for my birthday, and I loved it. I especially loved Sonic Adventure. It was a great game, and I also I loved Power Stone. I loved a lot of the launch titles and loved NBA Showtime. There were just a lot of games that I really liked, and I think the graphics at the time were really stunning. Sonic Adventure was like beautiful, that opening scene where You're like kind of riding down that hill is just really cool. I just remember being blown away by that stuff. So, anyways, when Phantasy Star was announced, it was on my radar because I was kind of getting really into playing RPGs at the time. It was on my radar, but I didn't really have a credit card, or my parents weren't about to let me use their credit card or to play this. So I was kind of SOL. But it still interested me, and I kind of always wanted to check it out. Fast forward a couple years to the GameCube release, I picked that up, and some of my friends and I would play in offline mode, but at the time I was like super into like playing PS1 RPGs, so I really didn't get too deep into it. The reason why it's important to me is because it was for the Dreamcast, which number one is a sentimental system. I really enjoyed the Dreamcast. It was like right when I was like early teenage years, so it was just fond memories of those times, and just really wanted to play this game on the Dreamcast, and always like wondered about the online capabilities of the Dreamcast, but never really got to experience them. So for me, the game is important because it kind of represents a lot of those ideas of Dreamcast online capabilities, the beautiful graphics, Sonic Team, just a lot of things meshing together. So basically, flash forward to last year, where when I heard about this device called a dreampi on a podcast, started doing some research into it because I have Raspberry Pis. For those of you who don't know, Raspberry Pi is like a small computer. It's got like a bunch of USB ports and HDMI. You can run emulators and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So basically, there's this open source software called dreampi that you can install to the Raspberry Pi, and then if you get a USB 56K modem, like one of these, I can put the model that I have in the description. And a link to the software. So you get this set up. You set up the dreampi. You have to connect it to your network and all that jazz, and then you have this adapter which allows you to connect a phone line to the stock 33 1/3 modem on your Dreamcast. So after you have all this set up, you're online. You can go play like Quake Arena or anything else that supported online, Alien Front. So I checked those out. They worked. I was able to get online, but nobody was really playing them. There's monthly events with the dreampis, so you can play games with other people, but it just I don't know. It was like, I was like, okay, now that I know that it works, I kind of wanted to go a little bit deeper. That's when I remembered Phantasy Star, and so I had a copy laying around from back in the day, so I figured, hey, why not? Let's see if we can get this working. So I started looking into some private servers, and I found a server called Slyverant, which is still up. It's up right now. It supports play, I think, on PC, GameCube, and Dreamcast. Naturally, gotta play the Dreamcast. So I started looking into it. They have a tutorial on there on how to get it set up. You basically just burn a boot disk. So you have the boot disk right here, and you put this in your Dreamcast, and it basically changes the host that you connect to for the server. So you do unfortunately need a VA0 or a VA1 Dreamcast, because if you don't have one of these, and you can see, I think it's right there in the circle, is which kind you have. This is a 1. So if you have any of the later models, they don't read CDRs, so you won't be able to patch the image, so you're kind of SOL. But if you do have an earlier model, you can burn this disc on your computer if you still have a CD burner. That might be a stretch. but so you burn the disc, start the disc, then you switch in the Phantasy Star disc, and bam, you're in. And you can play. So it's really, really easy and really neat. I'm just enjoying the heck out of it. I started playing it last year, and then I had some unfortunate things happen. My character got deleted. I was kind of angry. I gave it a little bit of a rest, came back, and now I'm back playing again, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Just like briefly to give a rundown of it for everyone. You know, the graphics are still really, really clean looking. There's ways to make your Dreamcast look a little bit better. So if you're just playing with regular composite inputs, look into a VGA adapter for Dreamcast. If you're playing Dreamcast a lot, it's probably it's a good investment to make. You can pick one up and you can hook up the Dreamcast via VGA, and then you'll have to wire up speakers separately. So if you're interested in getting a little bit better picture out of your Dreamcast, I would totally recommend going that route. But either way, the game still looks really, really good, and with the boot disc, it's really easy to boot up. I mean, the getting in there was phenomenal, and then just seeing the art style. I mean, it's so bright and colorful. The boss design is fantastic. I mean, going through everything, I mean, the levels are like crazy mazes, so I'm still figuring out the memory on that. But looking at everything is just, it really has an art style that stays true to the whole Phantasy Star line. I really think that the bright, like pastel-y colors go along with how the game was, like, even back to the Master System. So just overall looks great, still holds up today. The sound, like the music is really good. They have a very like unique, awesome score that's just sticks with you. The intro song is fantastic. It's just a really well put together game. It's just another great Dreamcast game from Sonic Team. Just gotta love the Sonic Team. As far as the gameplay goes, for the attacking, there's like a rhythmic mechanic where if you hit the button 3 times in succession, the attack button, which is A, if you hit it 3 times in succession, it will attack 3 attacks. So, but you have to hit it in a specific rhythm, otherwise it won't work. You can't just hammer it home. So, it's cool that it has that. It kind of gives you, you have to like focus when you're attacking. So it's I find that interesting. There's a couple classes. There's a ranger, a hunter, and a support class. There's magic. There's a bunch of items. I mean, if you haven't ever like checked out anything about the game, it's definitely a lot of fun. I mean, it is like a grind. You're just going through the same 4 levels over and over again, but depending on who you're playing with and what you're doing, it just has a, you know, you get a little bit of a different feel every time. So I'm enjoying it. I like coming back to it every now and again. I would like to get a high level character at some point, but it's just sometimes I don't know. I find myself always coming back in between playing other games. So, you know, I think it's really fun. what's really great is the community. There's some really nice people. You know, I feel like I play with people from like Spain and all over. You're not even like able to talk the same language, but you're playing Phantasy Star together. It's pretty awesome. So, I mean, it's a nice community, and it's a really like just cool that a lot of people still care about this. You know, now like 20-year-old game, 21-year-old game's old enough to drink. So it's just a lot of fun, and I mean, it's if anybody's interested, I'll post some links in the description for like where to get this adapter, the 56K modem adapter. Another thing, and like how to install the DreamPi software on your Raspberry Pi. Another thing to note is for Slyverant, there is a if you want to like be officially recognized on the server, you have to provide them with a registration key. You also, for this game, have to use a registration key to get in initially. I have a copy of the game, so I didn't really need to try and get around that at all, but I would imagine that you might run into issues if you're trying to use just a key that you have found somewhere and you may not own the game. So it's funny that you still kind of need to own a copy of this game to be able to play it. I don't. They kind of did a good job with that key code. So I'm not sure. I don't know what the enforcement is like, but I'm just warning anybody who's thinking about possibly doing this that you do need one of the keys that's unique and is included in the game. So anyway, so yeah, if anyone's interested, definitely check that out. If you have problems or questions, or you know, want to play Phantasy Star with other people, you can get on the Slyverant server, or if you have questions and just general questions about getting it set up, you could post a comment. I'd be happy to give a hand. So if you're interested in doing this, all you really need is a Raspberry Pi, 56K modem, USB adapter, Dreamcast VA1 or VA0, and a means to burn CDs, so you can burn the boot disk to get this all configured, all the magic going, so you don't really have to do anything. And that's it. That's pretty much it, and you'll be on there hunting, playing PSO like it's 2001. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. If anyone wants a tutorial or some more information on this, say so in the comments. I'll be happy to make a video tutorial about this. I muddled my way through it, so if I can do it, you certainly can too. So alright, well, thank you for checking out another episode of Bryan's Basement, and hopefully we'll see you online on the old Dreamcast. Alright, take it easy.